You know, for a little period of time there, it started to look like the way was now clear for Paramount to complete its takeover of Warner Bros. I mean, we knew there were still some hurdles they had to overcome, but it felt like it was going to be kind of smooth sailing. Then the other day, we discussed the fact that California and the state of New York have jointly decided, with other states as well that they haven't listed yet, are going to come together and file a lawsuit to block the merger. Now, and we talked about what chances it has to succeed, what could get in the way of that succeeding. We'll have to see what happens. But they are launching it. So that's a major hurdle for Paramount. But now, hot on the heels of that, there's another major hurdle. And it comes from Europe, particularly this one from the UK, as Deadline is reporting that Paramount-Warner Bros. Merger is now formally being investigated by the UK competition watchdog. This is what they say about it in Deadline, and why, and we'll get into why this is so significant. The UK's antitrust authority has launched a formal investigation into the $110 billion merger between Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery. The Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, said on Tuesday that it had opened a merger inquiry into the deal that will reshape the global entertainment industry. The CMA will commence its so-called Phase 1. Now, this is key. It's Phase 1 investigation from Wednesday, under which it will determine whether the Paramount-Warner Pact poses a quote-unquote realistic prospect of substantial lessening of competition. The CMA intends to conclude the Phase 1 process by August 7th. But if the threshold is met in that Phase 1 investigation, the competition watchdog will move to a deeper Phase 2 investigation, which can last for more than 5 months. Now, here's why those numbers are key. We kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday. Built into its agreement with the Warner Brothers shareholders, Paramount has a covenant with them, like in assuring the Paramount, because part of their sales pitch was, oh, we're going to get this cleared easy, no problem. As a matter of fact, Paramount said to the Warner Brothers shareholders, if we don't have this deal completed by October, we'll pay you what works out to be nearly $7 million just in penalties per month. That's about $230,000 per day that we've every day past. I think it's October 7th is the date. I might be wrong about that specific date, but I think it's October 7th. But every day after October 7th that we still don't have this thing finished and cleared of all the regulatory hurdles, we'll pay $230,000. How's that? Almost $7 million, $6.9 million a month.
I'd like that.
Now, if Phase 1 of this UK, and by the way, we're not even discussing how the California-New York lawsuit might delay it. We're only talking about the UK thing here now. If this Phase 1 investigation ends on August 7th, and they decide, and by the way, the article does go on to say they're already expecting that it will go to Phase 2. They say there's already clearly enough there that it will go to Phase 2. If it does, which can last up to 5 months, well, okay, starting from August, September, October, November, December, January, we're into 2027. That alone, if it doesn't go longer than 5 months, that's 3 months right there. That's $21 million extra dollars for a company that's going to be over $100 billion in debt, if I remember the numbers correctly. Even if this thing at the end of the day goes through, the delays caused by the UK and the potential delays caused by the California and New York lawsuits, this is going to make this very, very expensive. Now, I remember a couple of months ago, Rob, we talked about one analyst, an industry analyst, who mentioned that it's not just the fees and the penalties, it's the daily accumulation of interest on all this $100 some odd billion of debt. That this one analyst we talked about pointed out that at some point, forget anybody telling Paramount they can't do the merger. Paramount may just decide we can't afford to keep doing this. Now, again, there is also a reality that exists that the California and New York lawsuit happened and they resolve it very quickly. The UK launches their investigation, gets resolved really quickly, and everything is done by November, December, January, and everything's fine and clear. But there is also a very real possibility that this is about to get even more sticky. As a matter of fact, as we saw Paramount do before, David Ellison has thrown a little pussy hissy fit because he just came out now and started blaming Netflix. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, see if you can find that story there, Jonathan, if you can. But now Paramount just started to come out and start lashing out. We're not getting our way in. And they started blaming Netflix, saying Netflix is trying to do a scorched earth thing on Warner Brothers. I haven't heard Netflix say one thing about it other than we're glad to be out of this. Yeah. That's the only thing I have heard from Netflix in all of this is we're glad to be out of this. I haven't seen Netflix do one thing. But anyway, we see Paramount kind of going scorched earth and saying, and now throwing blame around and throwing a tantrum and things we're becoming accustomed to seeing David Ellison do. Again, I think this deal will go through. And when it does, I can do nothing but hope for the best and hope that David Ellison does a good job and we see a thriving Paramount. I really do. That's what I want to see happen. Guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, Hims. One of the hardest things about trying to lose weight is just figuring out what actually works. Because we've seen them all. There are a million trends, diets, and gimmicks out there. And honestly, it can get overwhelming. And that's why weight loss by Hims really stands out. Hims now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill at its lowest price ever and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at Hims, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite and eat less, so success is within reach. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever and only GLP-1 available in a pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. And the process is extremely convenient. Everything happens online. You connect with a licensed provider who determines if treatment is right for you, and if prescribed, your medication gets delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. Ready to reach your goals? Visit hims.com/Campea to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's HIMS.com/Campea. hims.com/Campea. Based on advertised cash price for 30-day supply of medication only. Membership required, fee not included, and billed separately. Weight loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit hims.com. But yeah, there we go. Paramount accuses Netflix of trying to poison the Warner Brothers deal. Anyway, so Rob, it felt there was a period of time there that started to kind of feel like it was going to be smooth sailing for Paramount. It's running into some turbulent waters here. This UK thing could be problematic. What do you think about when you see these things happening?
Well, I mean, obviously, this merger will significantly change the landscape of Hollywood, entertainment, potentially politics, because already we've seen the turmoil that's happening at 60 Minutes, which is Paramount's concern now, CBS. And there's a lot more going on here than just making movies and TV shows. And I think that was something that people are downplaying that, but there's a political element to this as well. In our misinformation, disinformation, information age that people are concerned with, not just movies and TV. And I think that was always going to be something that was going to be scrutinized, and I think the UK is right to do this. And I think I think that David Ellison, Larry's son, probably was not anticipating as many turbulent waters as they've been immersed in, because he's not a politician. He's a scion of the great Larry Ellison. And
to be fair, legitimately a big movie fan himself.
Yeah, big movie fan
himself.
Big
movie fan.
Skydance has basically been financing all these movies, whether it was the Star Trek movies, the Mission Impossible movies, Jack Ryan. I mean, all these things, these big things that Skydance has been producing for a long time. David Ellison has become one of the most important movie producers and studio executives in Hollywood. But what does he know about all these international waters that he's stepped into? And I think that he's probably been frustrated by it and taken aback by it. And
it wasn't like their acquisition of Paramount. which was relatively smooth.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, did you see now there's an investigation going on in the sale of Paramount to Skydance with Sherry
Redstone.
Yes,
Redstone,
Sherry
yeah.
Redstone saying that there's a lawsuit that's been launched now against them saying that Sherry Redstone improperly steered the sale to Skydance because it more benefited her than the shareholders. And I don't know if that throws the Skydance acquisition of Paramount into question or not. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying I don't know if it does or not. But yeah, there's a lot of that kind of turbulent waters there.
And then if this crosses the threshold of January 20th, now you're moving into a most likely hostile Congress. That's going to gum up the work further. I don't know that it could necessarily, but it just adds another element.
It makes it more challenging at any rate. Again, to me, now maybe this is just the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory idea. With regards to the whole Netflix thing, honestly, and I haven't talked to Ted Sarandos, like maybe I'm wrong. I think they are excited to see the Paramount acquisition of Warner Brothers go through. Because I believe that they believe they're going to fail and all go bankrupt, and they're going to be able to come in 3 years from now and buy all of it for pennies on the dollar. I honestly think that's what their plan is. I think they want this deal to go through for Paramount because the faster they get the deal done, the faster they'll fail. Again, I'm thinking in the mind of Ted Sarandos. The faster they get that deal done, the faster they'll fail. They'll all go bankrupt and we'll come in and buy everything for pennies on the dollar.
I just, to me, this is such a distraction to what these companies should be doing. I mean, the people at Warner Brothers they're at the mercy of this whole thing. There's nothing they can do except continue to put out, they've got Supergirl launching in a few weeks and they've got other things happening and it's just, they've got Dune coming out. They've got a lot of good stuff coming out for the rest of the year. And it's like, all of this is just a monumental distraction away from the core business that these companies are dealing with. And I get it. I mean, but mergers and acquisitions, hey, it's old.
I want to address this too, just because this is, I don't mean to pick on the one person in the live chat, but this is a common thing. So, Pickle Rick, I think in the live chat is saying, so where was all this energy when Disney bought Fox? Right? There's this perception that's being promoted that this is just the same thing. It's the exact same thing. And by the way, lest you try to rewrite history, there was a lot of opposition.
Tons.
Tons. The unions stood against it. There was a lot of opposition, but against the Disney acquiring Fox. But there are several key differences, all right? Several key differences that are causing some concern. Number one, we now live in an era where Fox already got purchased by Disney, so there's even fewer pieces on the board today that you're talking about merging. That makes any potential merger right now subject to even more scrutiny because there's already fewer players because of the Fox-Disney merger. Number two, the financial structure of all this is completely different. Whereas Disney had all the money in the bank to straight up buy Fox, they just did. They just straight up bought it. They had the money. They bought it. It's theirs. Paramount does not have the money for it at all. They're in desperate debt. And they've had to go outside of their own bank accounts to get Middle Eastern money, which is causing some problems by even some people in the conservative government are kind of concerned about it. So that's another major difference. Also, when that purchase of Disney and Fox happened, the streaming wars had not existed yet. That whole other dimension of now we're not just talking about Paramount and Warner Brothers merging. Mm-hmm. We're now talking about merging two of the 5 major streaming services.
Right.
That is not something that happened when Fox and Disney took over.
I don't even think Disney Plus existed yet.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
So this I get it when people say, well, what about the Disney Fox thing? Okay, it's fair to bring it up, but be clear. This is a radically different set of circumstances, and it was opposed. Mm-hmm. And this is even more. The finances are completely different. The debts are completely different. The landscape is completely different. How they were going to even pay for it in the first place is completely different. This is not remotely like the Disney Fox takeover. It's just not. And that doesn't mean you need to have a problem with it. Maybe you look at it all and you still think it's okay. Perfectly reasonable. I'm just saying, don't pretend or go along the naive thought pattern that this is just the same as when Disney bought Fox. Not at all. Like, not in the least. And remember, I'm somebody who I still believe that at the end of the day, this deal is going to go through. I just believe there's too much stacked in its favor. I believe at the end of the day, it's going to go through. And when it does, those of us who are movie fans and fans of the industry, we're going to have to get on board and kind of cheer for it to work. Because I don't want Paramount to crash and burn.
Right.
I want it to work.
You want the movie industry to thrive.
I honestly think this is the bottom line for me. Not only do I think it is better for Warner Brothers to stay an independent company, I think it's better for David Ellison and Paramount to not do this deal. I think they'd be much better positioned and in a much better place for success if they just focused on Paramount, because they haven't done shit with Paramount yet. And I just think it would be better for David Ellison and better for Paramount if they just focused on that. But I don't think we're going to get that. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about all this? The UK is now stepping in, and beyond just the preliminary inquiry, they're already saying they think this is going to go to phase 2. And if it does indeed go to phase 2, that is going to cause delays beyond the contract. It's going to start costing Paramount even more money and presenting yet another obstacle. And that's not even talking about the California and New York lawsuits. Anyway, guys, whatever you think about all this, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.